It's right here, but it's not.
Oh, you're right. You can talk in mine. I'll leave it up. Maybe that's why it was like this.
Can you hear me? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. I can speak loud.
We got speaking of one of mine.
I got mine pointing towards them, so hopefully it picks up. They don't need to hear me talk. I
No,
don't
I
say
guess
anything
not.
important.
Oh, we're late. Is everybody here?
Here, just say test, test.
Test, test. Ready?
Hold on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the meeting of the Skokie Plan Commission for April the 4th. First order of business is for the attendance. Commissioner Osley is absent. Commissioner Manchella is here. Commissioner Scott Berman. Here. Commissioner Cindy Franklin. Here. Commissioner Gropta. Here. Commissioner Hello. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, can you hear us?
Testing. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I can be heard.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. And our fourth case tonight is case 2024-04P, special use permit at 88014 Lincoln Avenue for a co-working office in the CX Core Mixed Use District. Okay, I'm gonna just deviate from the agenda a little bit. I'm gonna call case 2024 03P, a special use permit request at 8229 Christiana Avenue. Jose Rafael Munez Alvarez requests a special use permit for an automotive repair facility in an M3 industrial zoning district. And is the petitioner here tonight?
He's right there.
Okay, please come up. Okay, so if you would just give us your name and your address for the record.
My address or the
Your name and address.
address? Okay, my name is Jose Rafael Munoz. My address is 33124 Valley View Drive in Grace Lake.
Okay, and
Eagles.
how are you related to the petitioner? Is this your case? Is this your
Yeah.
establishment?
Yes.
Okay, so raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony you give tonight is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you?
Yes.
Yes. Is the notice in order for this case?
Yes, notice is proper and correct.
Okay, thank you. Just give us an overview of what you want to do at the space here, with the auto facility.
Well, I'm trying to, I'm actually working as a mechanic, right, for about 15 to 16 years. So I'm renting for all these years. So right now, I'm trying to open my own shop, you know. So I find this property, bought it, so that's what I'm asking for a permit.
Do you own this building or are you renting this building?
I own it,
You own it?
yes.
Very good, okay. Okay, and how many service bays you gonna have?
Two,
2 service bays, 2 lifts?
yeah, two lifts.
Okay. You're not gonna do any body work or painting?
No,
Okay, just mechanical?
yes.
Okay. Any questions of the from the commission? Okay. I can't think of anything. Okay, okay, thank you. We're gonna ask the staff to give us a report, then we might have you come back up again, okay?
All right,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Staff is Mike Zurtek. Mike Zurtek will read or give us the staff report for the record.
I'd like to request that the staff report for case 2024-03P, special use permit at 8229 Christiana Avenue, be accepted into the record as written.
Your request is granted.
The parking is met on the site. There are 7 spaces required. This is a neighborhood where we do have tandem parking, so we do count the tandem parking spaces that overlap into the Christiana right-of-way as meeting the parking requirement for the site. In order to bring the site into ADA compliance, we required that a space for accessible space be placed behind the building off the alley. It's a bit of a unique situation. Typically, we want it near the front entrance. In this instance, we had it off the alley because of the tandem parking. If there were somebody to be parked in a handicap space, it would be blocked in by a car potentially coming in behind it. So we were able to create a space for that accessible parking. As a result, the back door would have to be made ADA accessible, and the petitioner is aware of that, so they will make adjustments to that back door in case anybody has to enter the building through that area. And as mentioned, there will not be any body work or painting. We are leaving a small area to the south of the 6 parking spaces as a walkway. It's a very narrow lot. I think it's like 25, 30 feet. So it will allow for deliveries to be able to get through without having to meander through the cars that are parked on the site. And that leads right up to the front entrance to the auto repair business. I do have one modification we're going to make to the recommended special use conditions. The petitioner has revised the drawings and addressed the various conditions we had underneath. Number 1, in the recommended conditions, We do have a revised plan in place that addresses all this, so I would like to request that condition number 1 and the sub-conditions A through D all be removed from the report.
So those items have been addressed, taken care
They
of?
have been
Okay.
addressed by a revised drawing of, that was revised today,
Okay.
actually. It was delivered to us today. And so that will be the drawing that goes forth to the village board. So we no longer have any,
And also for the record, there are other auto repair shops on that same block.
yes,
correct?
there are. There are at least 4, I believe. I know right next door, there's a body shop. We have another one on the corner at Cleveland. And I think
Yeah.
further to the north, there is an additional one that's like a legal non-conforming. It's been there without a
Okay.
special use, so,
And
yes.
no one's had complaints about any of the shops on the street, I mean, on that particular street?
No, and given the situation where there's no on-street parking, everybody has to keep everything on their property. There's no, unlike, you know, like north on Oakton Street,
Yeah.
you go north of there and you've got body shops and auto shops all over. You've got people selling vehicles, so a lot of the parking on street is taken up by some of these vehicles. In this neighborhood, that's not even a possibility.
Because you can't park on the east side of that street.
Right,
'Cause
there's
it's
no
all-
street
it's all-
parking, and if you're
yeah.
parking on the sidewalk, then you're gonna get a ticket, so.
Okay. Any questions of the staff? Okay. Sir, want to come back up, please? So you've heard the staff report. Is there anything you want to add or have a comment on the staff report?
No.
No, so you're pretty much agreeable to all the recommendations that the staff has put forth to you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Jeff Berman.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the recommendation that we accept the, motion that we accept the staff report as amended by Mike, moving that one item A through D, as presented.
Okay, I have a second.
Second.
Commissioner Franklin, thank you. Call for the vote. Commissioner Manchella,
Aye.
Commissioner Scott Berman,
Aye.
Commissioner Franklin,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta, Commissioner Jeff Berman,
Aye.
and I'll vote aye. Motion passes. Now, this case still has to go before the Board of Trustees for final approval, and you'll be notified when that case will come up before them. They meet on the first and third Monday of every month, okay? Very good. Thank you very much, and good luck to you. Okay. Next case is case 2024-04P, a special use permit request at 8014 Lincoln Avenue. Grisetta, is that the correct name here? Thomas Grisetta?
Yes.
Okay. Please come up. Give us, for the record, give us your name and address, please.
Yes, for the record, Tom Grisetta, Griseta, address 960 Chapel Court in Glen Ellen, 60137.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you affirm that testimony you give tonight is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you?
I do.
And is the notice in order, Counselor?
Yes, notice is proper and correct.
Thank you. Sir, just give us an overview of your plan here.
Certainly. So Enclave Co-working obviously is a co-working company. That's a type of business that's becoming easier and easier to explain as it gains popularity and more people become familiar with it. Our version of co-working offers 3 membership types. So we have a membership type called Flex, which is members purchase access. The members who purchase access can set up at any of the workstations throughout the space. The workstations are set up with power, high-speed internet. They have access to kitchen amenities such as soda, water, LaCroix, snacks, things of that nature. We also sell a membership type called Office Flex, and Office Flex includes everything I just said, in addition to shared access with a certain bank of offices. So some of the offices would be designated as Office Flex offices. And then we also do sell dedicated office space, which speaks for itself. Those are the offices that folks can put their art on the walls, set up overnight under lock and key. Now, there are certain things that I believe separate Enclave Co-working from some of the other some of the other co-working companies. I think one of the major differences is that we hold ourselves out to the public as being the kind of smaller, quaint, downtown suburban neighborhood option. In fact, we have a very good example of this. We have a location in Wilmette and a location in Evanston. They're a mile apart, literally down the same street. It takes a couple minutes to get from one to the other. Almost all of the Evanston members live in Evanston, and almost all of the Wilmette members live in Wilmette. So we are almost always within 5 minutes of our membership. And we think that's important, obviously, for them. If they have an emergency at a kid's school, if they have to get to some social event, they can do that. But I think it's also important for the Village of Skokie, because I think that usually what we found in our analysis is that a lot of folks walk to Enclave. They'll walk or they'll bike, especially when the weather is nice. In fact, when the weather is nice, sometimes we find that less than half of the attendees actually drive to Enclave. The other main kind of benefit to the Village of Skokie is that these are folks who would either be at their homes or at an office in Chicago or Schaumburg or Oak Brook, somewhere that isn't downtown Skokie. And now, if they're spending their 9 to 5 hours on weekdays at Enclave, they're also patronizing restaurants and shops and the like downtown. So that's generally the business and some of the benefits of being in Skokie. There were a couple items too that we were asked to address directly upon the application, so I could just kind of run through those quickly here. Enclave does not cook, prepare, or serve food. It doesn't deal in any hazardous materials. It has no impact on the environment. Also, 100% of the proposed build is an interior remodel, so there's nothing done to a sidewalk or a street or anything that would affect traffic. And then finally, I know that there is as part of, I believe it's Article 9 of the zoning rules, the zoning ordinance, a rule that we stay open for at least 40 hours a week. And Enclave is open. It's open 7 days a week, and its hours are actually kind of an aggregation of its members' hours. So if folks, for example, we have some members that do business in China or India, and they might have to show up at 5 a.m. for a call to adjust for a.
So they have 24-hour access.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. I think that's all I have. Obviously, if commissioners have any questions.
Yeah.
Is there any out-facing impact where customers come to interact with people in the workspace, in the shared space? A real estate closing, for example.
Certainly, yeah, and it's a good question. So as a matter of course, we allow a member to bring 2 guests. Basically, we say it without telling us. So if you want to bring 2 guests, just bring them, open the door for them. They have to be true guests, so they can't be people that show up every day. After that, then they're just kind of free members. We also allow more than 2 guests. We just require a heads up. And we have methods in place. For example, we have interactive Google calendars and stuff that the members can use to reserve a conference room. So if you have 6 people that are, to use your example, doing a closing, you could reserve the conference room for 2 hours, and then it's yours for those periods.
Okay. Commissioner Minichelli?
Is there a dedicated staff?
Not on a 8 hours a day basis, but we cycle all of our staff through all of our spaces, so they'll be stopping through routinely most days. And there is also a cleaning staff that comes every day,
I was gonna ask you about the cleaning staff. Okay.
and they handle stocking and issues related to that as well.
And-
And there's also one point that I forgot to mention, and you mentioned outward facing, perhaps more literally than how you were asking, but we find that there's a huge premium on natural light. So some of our spaces, we get lucky in that we have windows on all the walls. This one is more of a traditional storefront. We have several that are like this, that are storefronts. And we find that folks will basically take the seating options that are along that front glass. So we usually do built-ins, kind of bar-style seating. And why this is important is even when we're not at capacity, the folks that are in the space are usually sitting there. So as far as optics of having a bustling storefront, it's aided by their choices.
When you say you have a cleaning staff, where does the trash go?
Well, it varies by location. I believe this building has dumpsters on site. We normally generate, on average, about 3 black bags of garbage a week. So we're not, it's cans, empty coffee cups.
So are you contracting with through the building for trash pickup, or are you getting your own dumpster?
I believe it's part of our lease. I think that
Okay.
it's part of our CAM that passes through to us.
Any other questions? Any questions? Okay. Anything else you want to offer, or right now, or I'll have the staff come up and present its report?
That sounds
Okay,
good.
very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you, sir. Again, Mr. Wojtek.
I'd like to request that the staff report for case 2024-04P, special use permit for 8014 Lincoln Avenue, be accepted as written.
Okay, yeah, request is granted.
The petitioner covered most items that that I was going to discuss. We just, I think the only thing is that the bathrooms, just want to point out the bathrooms would be within a shared area outside of the space. So there's a hallway that leads out toward, I think it's toward the elevators, as you head toward the elevators in 8000 North building. There are some shared bathrooms there. So you do not see the bathrooms on the floor plan. That was my initial question also with the petitioner, was where were the bathrooms? They're actually in a common area. So hope that addresses that question if anybody did have that concern. And as you recall, this was added as a special use permit. There was a text amendment back in, I think, late 2023. As this is on a retail street, the recommendation was that this was a use that we would like to have in our downtown. As the petitioner mentioned, it's bringing activity to our downtown. It's not providing a retail service, but it is providing employment, and that employment will turn around and contribute to services and sales, and hopefully take over transportation and also bike into the downtown area. There is existing bike parking to the north. There's a parking lot, a public parking lot, as you head north toward the drapery shop. So there are bicycle racks over there. We do not require any additional bicycle parking to be provided at this time. They can utilize the existing bike parking that's within our downtown area. I do have one amendment to this case. Under the recommended special use conditions, number 1, the original text states, prior to the hearing of the subject case before the Board of Trustees, the petitioner shall revise the petition plan to include the following, and it goes into A, B, and C. I would like to request to modify condition number 1 to state, prior to the issuance of building permits, the petitioner shall revise the petition plan to include the following.
Okay,
I feel that these items can be addressed and reviewed by the fire department at that time. This case will be going to the village board later this month, so
okay.
this is an item that can be addressed without having to hold the case up, move it through the process. Other than that,
Okay, any questions to staff? No questions? Right. Thank you, Mike. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Mr. Gracetta, please come back up. So in regards to the staff's request to change condition number 1, do you have any questions with that or problems?
No issues. And in fact, I think the drawings with the fire rating and the egress points actually were tendered. So I could double check that, and obviously if they haven't been, I'll
Yeah, you
send
have ample time to work it out before the board meeting.
Certainly.
Okay. Okay, sir, any further comments from you, or?
I neglected to mention, and Mr. Boydick began to bring it up, but there are 2 floors of public parking within this building also. And that's actually on site, and the building understands that members would be using that parking. So it would be further eliminating the need for street parking.
Are they gonna have their own dedicated space, or just a space at random?
I don't think it's dedicated. I know that part of the garage is dedicated for residential tenants, and then there's 2 floors of public, so I think we would just be sharing in the 2 floors of
Okay.
public.
So parking's not an issue?
That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. for case 2024-04P, special use permit for an office, shared office space in a CX, is it a CX Core Mixed Use District?
I move approval with the one modification that Mike
Okay,
requested.
thank you.
I'll second.
Commissioner Manchella, thank you. Call for the vote. Commissioner Manchella,
Aye.
Commissioner Scott Berman,
Aye.
Commissioner Franklin,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta, Commissioner Jeff Berman.
Aye.
Now vote aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Again, this case will have to go before the Board of Trustees, and you will be notified when that case comes up before them, okay? Thank you, and good luck with your project.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Before I call this, I'll call the next case, and then, I think we have a comment here. Next two cases, case 2024-01P, special use permit at 4022 Main Street for a Soul Good Cafe, and accompanying that is a special use permit for outdoor dining. And Commissioner Manchella, do you have something to say? Into the microphone.
Sure. I will be recusing myself as I represent this company.
Okay, very good. With the absence of Commissioner Manchella, we still have a quorum, okay? Okay. Have a good evening, Erica.
Good night.
Okay. Okay, good evening. Can we have your names and addresses, please?
Christina Perez Thomas, 8240 Colmar Avenue, Skokie, Illinois, 60076.
Okay, and,
Catherine McCray, and 7812 Kenneth Avenue.
good, very good, thank you. Ladies, raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony you give tonight is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes.
Yeah. Counselor, is there a notice and order?
Yes, their notice is proper and correct.
Okay. Kind of give us an overview of your project here, please? And-
Yeah, so we're currently a Skokie-based coffee shop, but for the last 2 years, we've operated solely as a mobile-based cafe. So we've served from a coffee trailer, and we're looking to open our first brick-and-mortar cafe on Main Street, 4022 Main Street. So that's the plans you see now.
Oh, okay. And what's your seating capacity?
50 seats inside.
Okay. Hours of operation?
Daily, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.,
We say daily, is that
Monday through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Okay. And what kind of offerings are you gonna have in the coffee shop?
Yeah, so we specialize in espresso-based coffee drinks, along with hot chocolates, lemonades, and other coffee drinks. We also serve a rotating menu of pastries and light bites from local restaurants and bakeries that we partner with. When we open the cafe, we'll have a more expanded selection to have like grab-and-go salads, wraps, sandwiches, but we won't have a full kitchen on site. Everything will be provided from partners.
Okay. And I'm gonna ask you to, we'll talk about your second request, that's for the outdoor dining. Can you kind of go into that, please?
The outdoor dining request?
Yes.
Absolutely. So on the side of the building, we're looking to put a few patio tables, no more than 20 seats. We get a lot of people now at our pop-up location that walk up, that are walking their pets, that are biking. And so it's just a nice amenity, especially for the neighborhood, especially too with families that come up and, want to mingle outside.
Are you gonna have any kind of outdoor lighting for the patio?
Yeah, the owner of the building is adding lights to the side of the building that'll shine directly on the patio.
Okay. Yeah, we do, are you gonna pipe music out to the patio or anything like that, or?
No, there's
Okay.
no plan to
Okay.
add music.
Other than that, yes, Commissioner Berman.
One, why only 20 seats? Seems like you have capacity for a few more seats than 20.
The plan that we have now is at 20 seats, I think we could fit up to 22, but we also want to leave room for people with strollers, if they have kids that want to, draw on the floor or whatever. We just want to have some extra space for them to mingle.
And parking you're not concerned about because there is plenty of parking.
Yeah, it's a neighborhood. Main Street has free parking. Keystone, this is in the corner of Keystone and Main, there's parking there, and then behind the building, there's parking as well.
Are you setting up barriers around the eating outdoor dining?
Yeah, we're gonna be adding planters that will create kind of a natural perimeter around this seating area.
So it's defined area then?
It's a defined area.
Please speak in the microphone.
Sorry. It's a defined area, but with intentional perforation so that someone with a dog can come into that side dining area
Yeah.
without having to go through the cafe. Someone with a stroller can do the same.
And the parking spaces in the back, they are shared with other tenants in the building?
Yeah, there's 3 tenants in the building that it'll be
It's
shared.
mostly gonna be your staff parking.
Yeah, it could be. 80% of our staff lives in Skokie, with 50% within 2 miles. So a lot of us just walk, bike. We'll get there easily, but yes, essentially it'll be shared.
I mean, how many staff people do you have?
In total, there's 9 of us. It'll be expanded to more like 15, but on any given weekday shift, there'll be no more than 3 people, and on a weekend, no more than 4
Yeah.
at one time.
Okay. Sounds good. Any questions? Questions? No, nothing? Okay, ladies, if you don't have anything else to offer, I'm gonna ask the staff to come up and give it the report. Thank you very much, ladies. Well, good evening.
Good evening, Commissioners and Chairman Luke. I'd like to ask that the staff reports be accepted into the record as written.
Request is granted.
This is regarding cases 2024-01P and 2024-02P, special use permits for a limited service restaurant and outdoor dining within the B1 Commercial District. So Good Coffee, the winner of the 2023 Skokie Business of the Year, is a favorite within the community, not only because of their excellent coffee and pastries, but also because of their partnerships with other local organizations and involvement within the community. The outdoor dining use pairs well with the revitalization plans on Main Street, making it a more pedestrian-friendly environment and providing a space for people to meet and interact along Main Street. The petitioner is proposing to open a limited service restaurant at the corner of Main Street and Keystone with an outdoor dining. The site of the coffee shop is part of a bigger 8,090 square foot building with 3 commercial spaces. The coffee shop will occupy the vacant space on the west side of the building to include the outdoor dining area directly adjacent. And staff has reviewed the submitted materials and overall supports the request for a limited service restaurant at 4022 Main. The proposed coffee shop is served by the 215 Pace bus route on Crawford Avenue and by bike lanes running in either direction along Main Street, with bicycle parking proposed on site. The site is zoned B1 commercial, but abuts B2 and R2 zoning districts. And per the parking analysis, the building was constructed in 1955 with 12 parking spaces shared between the tenants. And those are the ones you see in the rear now. At the time, the 12 parking spaces in the rear accommodated the uses for the 3 units, but by today's village zoning code standards, Soul Goods Coffee parking requirement for the use of a limited service restaurant has increased and is now 15 spaces, which would be the difference in the parking requirement between the previous use at this location and the proposed coffee shop, as outlined by section 118-203 of our village zoning code. And this section of our zoning code serves to grant relief of parking requirements for new uses going into older buildings constructed prior to March 1965, and that do not have the proper layout or infrastructure to accommodate the increased parking requirements for changing automobile dependency and increasing population. Soul Good would require 1 parking space for every 100 square feet of net floor area, totaling to 22 parking spaces. The previous use at this location was a performing arts studio that required 1 space for every 300 square feet of net floor area, totaling to 7. And the difference in the required parking between the previous use and the new use is 15. Since the site cannot accommodate the 15 additional legal parking spaces on top of the 12 already provided on site, relief for So Good Coffee's 15 space parking deficit would be needed. But staff feels the relief is justified because in addition to the 12 shared parking spaces on site, there's also 90-minute street parking on Main Street and Keystone Avenue and bike lanes running along Main Street directly adjacent to the site. And the proposed business plan also justifies the relief as a large number of sold goods customers utilize carryout options or delivery services. And the hours of the coffee shop will also help alleviate some of that parking demand as well. In general, the special use permits are consistent with the intent of the comprehensive plan and zoning for the site. And staff recommends that the petitioner's request for a special use permit for a limited service restaurant at 4022 Main Street be approved, as well as the special use permit for the outdoor dining area be approved as well, with relief from section 118-203 regarding the parking requirement of existing structures prior to March 1965, based upon the proposed finding of fact and subject to the recommended and standard special use permit conditions.
Any questions of staff?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Sorry, my usual question, when food's involved and what have you, is the requirements for, particularly in the outdoor dining, for trash receptacles and the 4-hour requirement for cleaning the grounds?
Yes, that's outlined in the standard special use conditions.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Would the petitioners please come up? So you've heard the staff report for both cases. Do you have any questions or comments on the report?
No, none right now.
And you were able to meet all the recommended conditions?
Yes.
Okay, very good. I just want to add that I have friends living down the street on Keystone. When I visit them, I see the empty space there, and I said, what a great place for a coffee shop. I've been saying that for like at least 20 years. Finally, we get a coffee shop there. Thank you, ladies.
We're also neighbors.
Okay, very good, okay. Any questions of the stuff? Thank you. Okay, move, let's see, on case 2024-01P, special use permit for a limited service restaurant at 4022 Main Street.
Well, Jeff is moving it, and I'll second.
Who's gonna move it?
I'll make a motion to
Okay.
accept it as presented.
They're called the Berman Brothers, okay, very
The
good.
Berman Brothers.
Yeah, right. Separated.
Johanna said we can't say
Separated
that
at birth.
anymore.
People think you're really brothers.
They're not brothers. For the record, they're not brothers, different spelling.
We're not cousins either.
Thank goodness. Commissioner Manchella has abstained. Commissioner Scott Berman.
Aye.
Commissioner Franklin. Commissioner Gupta. Commissioner Jeff Berman.
Aye.
And I will vote aye. So, and we do have a quorum. We have 5 ayes, 1 absent, or abstained, and 2 absent. Okay. And for the outdoor dining, also at 4022 Main Street, for parking relief, do I have a motion to approve? Commissioner Franklin, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Berman. Call for the vote. Commissioner Manchella abstains. Commissioner Scott Berman.
Aye.
Commissioner Franklin.
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta. Commissioner Berman.
Aye.
And I will vote. Aye. So that's 5 ayes. Again, with 1 abstain and 2 absent. Motion passes. Again, these 2 cases still have to go before the Board of Trustees. You will be notified when that happens. Again, thank you for making my dream come true. And good luck to you.
every day.
Yeah, well, I'll be there every day. No, I won't. Well, thank you very much. Any other business before the board? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Oh,
There's
oh,
no,
excuse me, I'm
there's
sorry.
no meeting on the 18th. We don't
There's
have
no
any.
meeting on the 18th. Okay. Our next meeting will be May 2nd, though. May 2nd. Okay, all right. Please attend the meeting because there are a lot of cases coming up then. All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.
Jeff.